Hey BC, DeadlyDragon here, and I started my gaming career when I was around 6 or 7 years old. And my first game was Zelda Oracle of Ages on the Game Boy. And it was all in black and white, as I remember. It was actually on the bigger Game Boy, not the horizontal one, the vertical one, the one with the massive cartridge. God, it was such a good game. I never finished it because I would always get so frustrated. Whenever you're so young, you always get so frustrated at a game because you can't even finish a level because it's too hard. But then whenever I got older, I wound up beating it and still loved the game. And now, after that, I then played Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy, and that was the horizontal purple Game Boy. And that was actually pretty fun. It took the smaller cartridges. I forget whatever platform that was on, but I loved it as well. That was another game that I played whenever I had my free time or whenever I was traveling because my parents were military. I didn't actually own a console until my dad bought the first PlayStation, the PlayStation 1. And I actually do still have a couple of those games that I used to play. First game, of course, would be Revolt. It was a little RC car racing game that I used to enjoy quite a bit. I mean, whenever I had a little bit of free time, I'd play it occasionally. But it didn't beat. No, it could not possibly beat Frogger. Nothing beat Frogger. Then we moved on and my dad got the fat, thick PlayStation 2. That thing was a monster. It played those games so great. I loved it. And I played games such as the original Ghost Recon. Tom Clancy, the original. I loved this thing. I played it all the time. And then we moved on to ATV Off-Road Fury, which was also another really fun game, especially whenever you had the 4 controllers all hooked up and you had a whole bunch of friends all sitting around just trying to ram into each other. It was actually quite entertaining. Then we also have Smuggler's Run, another game that I would always play with friends. You'd hook up, I believe you could hook up like 2 controllers. I'm not sure about the 4-player. I'm not quite sure what the multiplayer was on that. That was just extremely fun. The cars would all blow up, and there'd be tanks trying to chase you. I think it was tanks. No, cops. There was different levels of cops. Okay, so that was pretty fun. And then, of course, how can you forget a classic such as Crazy Taxi? How can you? Crazy Taxi was awesome. That was another game that really frustrated me, and I could never finish on my own. But it was still quite fun to play. Next up, as I got older, we bought a Wii. I bought a Wii, actually, and it became a family kind of console. And I forget what my first game for the Wii was. I can't exactly remember, but I do remember Need for Speed Carbon was one that I liked to play. I used to play a lot of Need for Speed games on the PlayStation 2. I played Most Wanted on the PlayStation 2. I don't have the case for that up here currently. I also have Pitfall. There we go. That was another kind of classic game. This is the revamped version from the original. My mom got that for me. That was pretty fun. Then, of course, how can I forget another Zelda game? Zelda games are always going to be kind of at the top of my list. It was the first game series I ever played, and it's always going to hold a special place in my heart. This Zelda game was The Twilight Princess. This was a game, I still haven't actually played through all of this, so I can't rate it, but I did play it quite a bit, just kind of roamed around. I still need, finally, a couple of years after that, I want to say about 3 or 4 years later, after buying a Wii, we got a Xbox 360. I purchased an Xbox 360 on my own, and I fell in love with Mass Effect. I don't have the first one. My friend actually let me borrow these two, and I must say, phenomenal. I bought the music track, and it is just so amazing. The music fits the game to a level that I hadn't seen in any other video game previous to it. It was an epic kind of game that you just couldn't let go of. You had to keep on playing and playing and playing. And whenever it ended, you were just like, I want another one. Next up, we have L.A. Noire. That was another game that I still have not beaten. It's a very long game consisting of multiple discs. It actually has, I believe, 3 discs? Maybe 4? No, it's definitely 3 discs. It's a 3-disc game. That's how long this game is. And then finally, we got Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was an awesome game. I loved it, and I still play it every now and then just to mess around and have some fun. But now we go to present day, where I now play PC games and run my own YouTube channel. As you can see, this is kind of the setup I run on my own YouTube channel. And the current PC games I play, I'm not going to list all of them. Oh, also, before I go on to the new PC, I had a older PC, much like you did, BC, and it ran Zoo Tycoon. Age of Empires 2 was another one it played. I think I had Roller Coaster Tycoon on there at some point. I played a lot of flight simulator games. I have since not really played flight simulators as much anymore. Sorry, I shouldn't be calling that a game. It's actually a simulator. People yell at me. Oh no. Anyways, I then also played a lot of Zoo Tycoon. Zoo Tycoon was a game that I used to play a lot as a kid. And now, on to present day, I play some of the Arma games, Arma 2. I have the HD version of Age of Empires 2, so I can finally get back into that. I'll actually probably put some of that footage behind me on the good old green screen. And I also play a lot of Assassin's Creed, starting from Brotherhood up to Unity. I have all the Bioshocks, all the Borderlands. I have a little bit of Counter-Strike. I must say I haven't gotten as much into Counter-Strike. I mainly bought it just for access to the Gmod textures. I then got into DayZ, the standalone version, and I must say that's an awesome game to live stream, and as long as you keep the IP hidden due to stream snipers who are not as fun. Then I also have Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim. How can you forget Skyrim? Such an awesome game, but I have it on PC and Xbox. I actually got the Xbox version for free because my mother knew someone who actually got the game for free, and it was like a little card. Anyways, we also have Fallout New Vegas, Far Cry 4, as well as some indie titles such as FTL, The Forest. I have all the Half-Lives, Kerbal Space Program, Lucius, Payday 2, both the Portals, and Civilization 5 and Beyond Earth, as well as the Sims games and Watch Dogs. I play all of these games regularly. They're awesome titles. However, if I had to say the one that got me the most excited, that's a tough choice. There's a lot of games that just kind of pull you in. But out of all the console games that pulled me in, I would have to definitely give that to Mass Effect. Mass Effect was the game that got my attention the most out of console. And as for PC games, I'd say my favorite would have to be... Let's see here. There's so many tough choices. I'd honestly have to go with the Assassin's Creed series, just because history has always been interesting to me. I've been to Renaissance fairs, seen how they made chainmail and stuff like that. It was really cool, and Assassin's Creed managed to capture history in a way that I hadn't seen it before, and that's kind of what brought it to my interest. Anyways, for those of you who may else see this channel, I hope you all had a great New Year's, and I hope that 2015 will be good to you guys, as well as I hope you guys had a good Christmas as well. And I don't know what else to say. Bye.